Hey, I wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about diastasis recti. Diastasis recti is an abdominal separation of the rectus abdominis, so your six-pack muscle in the middle. Everybody, when you're pregnant, ends up developing a diastasis to help accommodate growing baby. So usually around 35 weeks of gestation, you're going to end up with a diastasis. Research shows about 100% of women will have the diastasis at 35 weeks of gestation, so 35 weeks of pregnancy. Now, if it gets to go back after pregnancy is up to you and how your tissue is healing. So you can actually continue to do activities that would hinder the tissue from going back together. And first, to see if you have a diastasis, I'm going to walk you through how to check yourself, and then you can do some activities to help close or help heal your diastasis, okay? And it's very important with the diastasis. What women on the internet are finding that if the separation is what women are kind of freaking out about, and there's literature that'll say that 2 fingers or less of a gap between your rectus abdominis is actually normal. I'm not so worried about the gap as much as the tightness between the 2 muscles. So I want the bridge between the 2 muscles here to be nice and tight, so I can't reach down into your guts. I want it to be like a little tightrope between 2 cliffs versus if you have a separation, that's a finger width apart, but you can reach down, that's not going to be as good of core closure as if you had like a 3-finger separation or split gap between the 2 cliffs, but it was tight. I would rather have that tightness there. Does that make sense? So I'm going to show you how to actually address or see if you have the diastasis at home. You're going to lay flat on your bed, legs down all the way, laying flat. You're going to find your abdominal wall. So here's my belly button here. What I want to do is start right above that belly button. I like to start with 2 fingers. You're going to lift your head and shoulders up off of the table or off of your bed and feel the distance between those 2 muscles. So when you have the weakness, you can actually go down between those 2 muscles and feel side to side of where that muscle tissue is hitting your fingers. If it's not a tight bridge, you'll be going pretty deep. And right now mine's pretty tight because I've been working on this with postpartum. Most women have more tightness up above the belly button, a couple fingers, and then below. So up here, your belly isn't really growing and expanding for those 9 months, so that tissue is usually a little bit more tight. And then down below, you have an extra muscle layer down there, your transversus abdominis. So that tissue will tend to stay more tight too, and women typically don't have as deep of a separation. That's not with everybody, that's just the majority. So most women tend to be more weak along the navel area. You can strengthen all you want doing exercises laying down and different programs to strengthen that tissue, but then if you turn over and, for instance, if you get up like this out of bed when you've got trying to heal that diastasis, it's going to increase pressure in those abdominal muscles and continue to take the tissue that you've been trying to tighten and stretch it out, because we're holding our breath and crunching. That's going to increase pressure, which is going to help keep that more stretched out, where you would rather, if you've got the diastasis, learn how to roll over to your side to get out of bed, prop up onto your elbows and your hands, and then get off the table. And I would do that, I'm going to walk you through that one more time, with your breath work. You want to make sure when you're getting in and out of bed that you're not holding your breath, because that's going to increase pressure in your abdominal cavity, causing that fascia to want to stretch versus coming together. We want to work with the core, our lower abdominal muscle and our pelvic floor, to help tighten and strengthen that fascia back. When we get more strength in our pelvic floor muscles and then that lower abdominal cavity, that's going to tighten that up to help tighten the fascia. And that's what we want as women, so we have more of a core stabilization. So again, let me show you getting in and out of bed. So to lay down, you almost want to break it into steps so your focus is on the exhale. So I would breathe in, I would want to blow out, tighten my lower abdomen as I get in on my side and scoop my bottom down. Breathe in again. And the whole time I'm doing that, I'm doing any movement, I'm blowing out the air. If I'm holding my breath, it's gonna cause more of that separation. So then to get out of bed, same thing, make it more of a two-step process. Breathe in, tighten that lower belly when you exhale. Get here, inhale, tighten the core as you get up. Now, as you get better at that, you will find that it doesn't have to be broken down into so many steps. It'll become just a natural reaction to tighten the core with the exhale. Exhale always starts just like a millisecond before the movement, and then firing that lower belly to keep that stabilization in the abdomen to get up. So we can get that air, get that pressure out of the cavity so we don't continue to stretch that tissue. I'm gonna go through some more exercises later today to go along with the diastasis. Check yourself, check your abdomen, check all the way up and down. Try different fingers to see how big your diastasis gap is, the abdominal separation, and how deep you can go. Send me a message and we can talk about some recommendations on what we need to do with that. Have a great day.